All right, where we are at Gilt Nightclub, very familiar surroundings for MLW. They have a big show coming up November 9th, Blood and Thunder. So I'm here. What better way to kind of gear up for that big event in addition to their big pay-per-view just days before that than with Salina de la Renta. Thank you so much for granting me the time today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So talk about, big things happening in the world of pro wrestling overall, and now MLW. Why is now the time right for a pay-per-view for this company?
Well, I think now's the perfect time because, as we know, there's a lot of competition going on, and when there's, let's say, there's product out there, there's other people doing stuff, then we're not gonna back down. Let's just try to make this bigger. So I think that's why it's the perfect time.
Okay. From what you've gathered, just what kind of, as far as the building the discussions for this big event, I mean, when was the first time that you heard that you guys were going to be running on pay-per-view?
I think the first time I heard of it was the first time they thought of it, because there's nothing that happens in the office that I don't know right away. So I mean, have you watched the show?
Oh, all the time.
All right, I'm producing the event that we're gonna do this weekend in Tijuana. I don't know if that's a secret, but I just told you. So I knew.
So what is it kind of, you kind of, as far as growing behind the scenes, I mean, just how that, it seems like it organically has happened. I mean, I think I read somewhere that you were initially going to sign up as an interviewer for MLW, but that kind of has evolved over time.
Well, the idea of me being an interviewer was literally just that, an idea. When I met Court Bauer, he said, we're definitely going to do something with you, but we just don't know what. I'm like, yeah, it's fine, whatever. I had a broken leg. I had broke my leg 5 different times trying to wrestle. And I said, well, I'll do whatever you need, behind the scenes or interviewing. And he said that I was going to be either a host or a valet. And, well, we went with the valet, and everything just worked like it was supposed to, I guess, because it was never like, hey, Salina, you're now going to be producing, like, out of nowhere. It was like, hey, Court, I have an idea. You want to look at it? Maybe later. Okay. I have an idea. All right, I'll look at it. Interesting. Let's talk about your idea. And that's kind of how things were changing.
Okay. And you've gotten some great minds to work with over the time with MLW. You have Bruce Pritchard, you've worked with Jim Cornette, and then even outside of MLW, you've got to do commentary with Larry Zbyszko.
Yes, I did.
Just talk about what those experiences have been like, kind of learning from these guys who have been in the business for so long.
Well, it's honestly been an honor, first of all, and very fun, because I've gotten to pick brains of many, many people. Not just Larry Zbyszko. I did commentary with him, which was super fun. We kind of did the, hey Larry, this is how we do 2019, and he would tell me, well, back in like 20 years ago, I'd be like, excuse me, I was 2. And that's kind of how like the commentary went with him. It was really fun, very interesting dynamic. But Larry Zbyszko is actually one of the first people I trained with. So I started wrestling in Pro Wrestling 2.0, and he would just go there sometimes and give us some advice. So it was kind of fun, like getting to work with my old friend, without trying to say he's old, but it is what it is. And I didn't meet her there, but Melina was there. We had Terry Reynolds. I got to work with Francine, who is like my mom right now. She means the world to me. I got to work with Shane Douglas, Sean Spears, Mr. Anderson, and that show specifically was insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I got to do commentary on the things that they were doing, and I felt like, what am I doing commentary on their work for? Like, they're just great. And here at MLW, I got to work with Conan, LA Park, Loki, MVP, people that just have marked this business immensely, and just getting to learn the business as I go from people who basically make this business. Like, I just can't tell you how happy I am.
I mean, it's the business behind the business, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But, you mentioned your injury and just the way that they kind of put that into your character with the cane and everything. I just loved doing that.
Yeah.
But now you're kind of back, it seems like,
yes,
with
I can walk.
100%. Yes. So are you trepidatious at all about returning to the ring? I mean, I know MLW is planned to have a women's division.
Right.
So is that something that you kind of want to be a part of?
Well, I mean, technically, if there's a women's division, I'm going to be part of the women's division regardless, but not necessarily as a wrestler. I think that when life sends you signs, you need to take them. And then when you break your leg 5 times, then I don't know how you don't take that as a sign. And when I started working in the business behind the scenes, everything just started flowing naturally, and I didn't really have to work that hard. As a wrestler, I had to train and train and train and train and try. And many, many times I went to the ring, and when I tried, I failed. And this other stuff just comes naturally to me because I wanted to be a screenwriter. And now that I have the opportunity of living the dream that I always had, why would I turn my back and go pursue another dream? That would just be stupid.
So when you say that, I mean, do you have creative input in what we're seeing on MLW? You mentioned the producing aspect of it, but as far as creative ideas, is there something on the show that we see right now that you kind of helped contribute an idea to?
Everything has been a little bit of everyone, so I can't just take full credit of anything, because we don't just go with an idea and say, oh, well, now it's your idea, you're fully in charge. It's more like, hey, how about this? And then 5 different people will come out from production, and then will put their input. So in a way, I have to do with everything, because I'm part of the discussion when we're deciding what we're going to do next, and like what venue we're going to pick, like what wrestlers we want to bring in. So I do have an input in that kind of stuff. But when I'm producing, well, I have all the input. I do whatever I want.
And it's amazing. You're 22 years old, right?
Yes.
And you've experienced so much already. I mean, what's great is also you've taken advantage of building your brand on social media. Just talk about the experience. I know you have a Patreon account as well. But social media can be an interesting place at times. I'm just curious, just kind of how do you maneuver it? I mean, there's a lot of great people on social media, but you almost gotta have to weed through it to find them a lot of times. But just what's your kind of strategy when it comes to social media, especially being a woman in this business and kind of building a brand right now in 2019?
I think I don't quite get the exact question, but I guess.
Well, juggling social media basically is what I was getting at. Yeah, just talk about how do you approach it basically.
Well, to me, I just see it as work. I don't have social media for any other reason. I don't get to have a private life out there, so I'm just put whatever has to do with my job, and I keep it 100 when it comes to the hustle. So I'm always like promoting either a brand. I'm promoting my own merch or LA Parks merch. I use it to do business, but when it comes to like my personal life, I keep it that.
I mean, there's a lot of interesting people out there. Do you have like an interesting experience? Maybe, a creepy person that you remember recently that may be in your DMs or something like that you remember that you're like, okay, I'm not going to go further with this guy.
That's 8 out of 10 messages. What are the common reactions that you get? Or the common tweets? Common thing that's not creepy, it's like, hi, can you please follow me? And I'm just like, why would I do that? Like, if you're gonna message somebody out there that you've seen on TV, do you seriously think, hi, can you follow me is gonna work? That's just the first thing I think. But when it comes to creepy, I always get, the typical inappropriate dick pic. I get buttholes. I've been tagged on porn. But that I have nothing to do with, by the way. I've had people just say, hey, do you think you're gonna make more merch soon? And I'm like, yeah, probably. What are your ideas? Trying, to please everybody in the most non-sexual way. And he goes like, well, I was thinking that maybe we should do a pocket of you. And I'm like, nah.
We're good.
I'm not gonna reply to this, and it's usually like something like that, or majority of people want to see my feet, and I want to monetize. If you want to see my feet, PayPal me. Ding. That's how it works.
All right, and what's great, a lot of things people see on social media is you're very passionate about fitness, and it seems like you've dedicated your life to this, renewed dedication to it. So just talk about kind of the progress you made in the past couple of years, maybe goals that you had for yourself that you kind of accomplished, and maybe where you want to go with it.
So fitness can be probably, and no, it's not probably, it definitely is the one thing that it's more attached to my heart, because as I grew up, everybody said I was so cute and this adorable girl and whatever, so I believed it. You know how you get in your head, and I was like, yeah, I'm hot. Oh yeah. And I would go out there and wrestle and wear my shorts and think I'm so cute. And then somebody broke my heart, and I was like, why? And then he started dating a model, and I was like, shit, I'm really not all that. Like, this is just me thinking I'm all that. Like, it was just like a reality check. And as superficial as that sounds, I started looking at myself and said, I'm not enough. Let's just become enough. So I could just show off and be like, well, now you can't get this. And that's how it began to me. Fitness started being about proving myself that I was enough. And then once I realized there's really no competition and I was enough from the beginning, I realized it too late and I was addicted to fitness now. And now I'm just like, all right, well, if this muscle looks like this today, tomorrow it could be like that. So let me just go and train harder. And it's just a matter of like, how can I better myself, but competing with myself, not to prove anybody else and show no body, no nothing, because at the end of the day, I feel great. I think I'm great. So
all right.
that's how that became about.
And then you have we'll go back to the big pay-per-view event with LA Park in the main event, of course, against Jacob Fatu. What can kind of fans expect from the presentation of an MLW pay-per-view? Something that kind of separates them from the market right now, which is pretty crowded.
Well, MLW is very different than anybody else. First off, because I would say 75% of our roster is lucha, and it's a Latino ground, and that's not really seen in America. It's definitely seen in AAA. You can see it at CMLL because it's a Mexican company. But here, nobody really gives the opportunity of Latino talent to showcase and show what they really have. And I feel that, yes, of course, American-style wrestling is necessary. It's also necessary to see what else is out there. And MLW has definitely given everybody the opportunity, not just Latinos, even though our 75% of our roster, like I said, is Latino. Everybody does get an opportunity. Like, we have a great variety of what can I say? Sexes. We have different.
You have diversity.
Diversity. I'm trying to come with the word that I'm looking for, but
yeah.
I just can't. I mean, just like we've had gay wrestlers, we've had women, we've had. We now have a women's division, which is a new thing. We've had intergender. We've had everything.
Awesome. And then last question. Just talk about how committed are you to MLW? Because I'm sure in this competitive marketplace right now, you're probably getting offers here and there, or you probably will be getting offers here and there down the line. Just talk about the commitment you have to MLW and its long-term plans and how you fit into them.
Well, right now I made a long-term commitment with MLW, and if it were to, to come down to, hey, there's this offer and this offer and this offer, I will always look back and say, well, MLW gave me my first opportunity, and there's not a lot of companies that would have did what they did for me. It's very hard to cast somebody with a broken leg and tell them, yeah, you can just go to the ring with a cane. Like, think about that. Like, there's so many hot women out there that when it comes to reality, like in wrestling, how many hot women there are right now. Like, women are trending. So for them to say that's okay, wear flats, we don't care about sexualizing you, which is what usually they did in this business before. They just said, wear a suit, cover up, wear a cane. We know you can do much more. And I just can't forget that. Because if I do, then I just think it's going to be bad karma. So I just try to, put good stuff out there, even though I'm an evil person at times.
Well, it's great talking to you today. Great to kind of share your insight and everything going on leading up to Guilt Nightclub. MLW's return, Guilt Nightclub, such a unique, intimate setting. I mean, we've seen wrestlers jumping off this balcony right here, so you never know what you're going to get that day. So that's November 9th, Blood and Thunder. And then we also have the pay-per-view just days before that. We have the super fight November 2nd where LA Park and Jacob Fatu.
Will the World Heavyweight Champion when LA Park is going to leave with the gold.
All right, you heard it here first. So Chicago, get ready. You can get your information on MLW social media and MLW.com. Thank you.